Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, the 2nd of February, 2024. It's 9 a.m. So what popped into my brain when I said it's 9 a.m. is that television thing, that public service announcement that they used to run back in the 80s. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? So when I said it's 9 a.m., I almost said, do you know where your children are? Welcome to the mindful moment and the wackiness that is me in my life. I hope I make you smile. I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I'm the spiritual leader here at Unity of Tucson. And Unity of Tucson is an inclusive and loving spiritual center where, frankly, we are serious about spiritual practice, but we are also lighthearted in the experience of life. And so joy is what it's all about. So I hope that brought you a little bit of joy. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, I would love for you to post a comment and let me know that you are here. As those comments come in, I do want to let you know. Yes, you ready? Here's what it is that I would like to share with you. You are love. You are light. You are life. You are magnificent. And I am so grateful that you choose, and it is a choice. I am so grateful that you choose to shine your light and share your magnificence. So that's the thing. That's a choice. To choose to shine your light and share your magnificence with the world, that's a choice. But your inherent magnificence is not a choice. That is simply the core of your being. I want you to ponder that maybe a little bit. Now, you may notice that I'm wearing the same thing I was wearing yesterday. It's because this is pre-recorded. I actually recorded this on Thursday. So that means I'm not going to be able to respond or put up, as I often do, your comments on Facebook and YouTube as they come through. But I do go back and read them after the fact. So thank you for all the comments that you are putting through right now. So today, I want to acknowledge that I am teaching a class on the essays of Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the essay for last night that we studied and we discussed is an essay called Spiritual Laws. And one of the first questions I asked of the students in the class is, what are the spiritual laws that Emerson is putting forth in this essay? I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to answer that today. But there is something that jumped out at me that is basically the point of what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to share with you this quote from Emerson. Here it is on your screen. What your heart thinks great is great. The soul's emphasis is always right. What your heart thinks great is great. The soul's emphasis is always right. So I first want to acknowledge and let you, I'm going to leave that up on the screen because I want you to really be able to look at the words, sort of ingest the words, consider the words, and see what moves within you in relationship to those words. Because I can tell you what I think about this quote, and I'm going to, but I want you to get a sense of how you feel. What is it that's coming up for you in relationship to this quote? I'm going to read it again. What your heart thinks great is great. The soul's emphasis is always right. What comes up for you? How does that make you feel? How do you understand that? Ralph Waldo Emerson is one of the most quoted authors in the English language. And for a time, he was the most quoted author. He got surpassed at some point, and I don't know who surpassed him, but maybe it's all changed since I saw that information even. But he has these beautiful nuggets of infinite deep wisdom, and they are peppered throughout all of his essays. And I love it. I am a New Thought person, And there are people in New Thought that have all said, basically, if you're in New Thought and you're not reading Emerson, then you don't truly understand New Thought. And, some people have called Emerson the father of New Thought, although that really is that title is given really to Phineas Parkhurst Quimby. But you could, in many ways, call Emerson the father of New Thought. He really is the primary mind behind transcendentalism, with which we have a lot of correspondence, the two philosophies, New Thought and transcendentalism. In fact, New Thought, I would say in New Thought, we are the natural outflow of the transcendentalist movement, and we are the new transcendentalists in many ways. But what your heart thinks great is great. The soul's emphasis is always right. What this says to me is that I should be aware of what I'm thinking and feeling. Sound familiar? I should always be aware of what I'm thinking and feeling, because whatever is in my heart, whatever is at the core of my soul, is what is showing up in the expression of my life. And actually, I want to share with you, because sometimes the word soul gets a little confused. I'm going to take this down now. The word soul gets a little confused. And I want to share with you the definition of soul according to Charles Fillmore, how he defined it in The Revealing Word. He said, the soul is this: human consciousness, the underlying idea back of any expression. In humans, the soul is the accumulated ideas back of their present expression. In its original and true sense, the soul is the expressed idea of the human in divine mind. So that sentence, though, that I think is really important. In humans, the soul is the accumulated ideas back of their present expression. So the accumulated ideas, the thoughts, the beliefs, and the feelings, that is the makeup of what we will define as the soul. And the outflow of the soul is what is showing up as the circumstances, our experience of circumstances. And it is all related to the soul and our experience. So that goes right in line with this quote. What your heart thinks is great is great. So what does your heart think is great? What at the core of your being, what do you feel is great? What do you feel is great? Because that is what is showing up greatly in your experience. Now, I like to apply this to a positive outlook, a positive frame of mind, a positive flow. But if our heart thinks that something destructive is great, then that is great for us, because that's part of the accumulated ideas, beliefs, thoughts that are the makeup of the soul and showing up as the outflow of experience. The soul's emphasis is always right. Essentially, what that is saying is it is always affirmative. Whatever we impress upon it shows up in our experience. And so our work as individualizations of the infinite divine presence and power that we call God is to open up in awareness and to set the tone through the impressing of our thoughts into the soul and trusting what flows forth. So in some ways, that is a little bit of basic New Thought, that quote. What the heart thinks is great, and the soul's emphasis is always right. It's always saying yes. Yes to whatever you require and desire. Yes to whatever you impress upon it, both at the level of awareness and below the level of awareness, because the circumstances and our experience of circumstances are the accumulation of thought, belief, and feeling, both that which we are aware of and that which is below the level of awareness. The accumulation of it all is what is showing up as our lives. So what will you choose to do with that today? That is the question that I offer and invite you to ponder. What will you allow your heart to believe is great? Because that is great. And you are great. And I am so grateful for you. So let's take that into some prayer practice. I'm going to invite us all to relax right where we are. If it is safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes, feel free to do so. Gently allowing, gently allowing, gently allowing, trusting and knowing. I choose to close my eyes in the practice because in closing my eyes, I am allowing myself to turn my attention to the soul, to the inner life, to that place where the accumulation of thought, belief, and feeling have conspired together in the outflow of my present moment life. And I can choose which aspects of that are active and which I choose, and those which I can leave aside as well. And this is all rooted in this idea that there is only one infinite power and presence. There is only one source, there is only one resource. There is God and nothing else. God, the benevolent, God, the good, God, the gracious, God, the magnificent creative energy. There is no separation, there is only God. For God is the energy of all that is and the outflow of all that is. There can be nothing separate from the infinite. So the inflow and the outflow are one and the same. The impression is the same as the expression. There can be no difference. And this is who and what we are. I know and trust that since there can be nothing separate from the infinite, we are all part of that wholeness. We are expressing God at the level of our deepening awareness. And so I choose to deepen my awareness in the avenues of love, light, life, kindness, beauty, joy, peace, harmony, wisdom, insight, intuition, imagination, understanding, this and so much more. I choose to understand these attributes of the divinity of the infinite as the attributes which are mine to have and to use, and which are ours to have and to use, each and every one of us. And so I allow my heart to resonate with these, knowing that what the heart thinks great is great. And so I apply an awareness of greatness to these attributes. And I trust in their forward movement, their flow, their magnificence. And it is with grace and ease and a relaxed frame of mind that I graciously and gratefully allow the unfoldment. I let myself be overwhelmed and overflowing with appreciation for this word spoken, knowing that it is active in my life. For what the heart thinks great is great. And so I welcome the greatness. I relax, I release, I trust, I know, and I affirm it as so by saying, and so it is. Amen. I'm going to put it up one more time. What your heart thinks great is great. The soul's emphasis is always right. Ralph Waldo Emerson. So that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you again on Monday. I'll be back for the Mindful Moment, 9 a.m. right here on our website, unitytucson.com, or you may be watching on Facebook or on YouTube. I'll be live in all those places. And always a delight to share this time with you. Of course, I do want to remind everyone that tomorrow night is Dance Zen here, Dance Zen. It's a freeform dance experience. As I've said, you do not need to know how to dance. I put that in quotes, how to dance. You don't need to, part of it is allowing yourself to perhaps push against the comfort zone of holding back in movement and allowing yourself to know that you get to dance like no one else is watching. Because frankly, everyone's involved in their own dance when they're part of Dance Zen. So, no one else is watching. And if they are, who cares? You get to be you. That's really what the point of Dance Zen is all about. It is hosted by our very own Sherry Hoffman, who I imagine is here watching on Facebook as she does every single day. So shout out to Sherry, grateful to see you. Yeah, would love to see you there. So that's it. I'll talk to you soon. Peace and blessings to you. Make your day magnificent. And remember, like I said before, know that you are magnificent. And it is not because of any activity in the world. It is simply the truth of your being. And as you allow your heart to recognize that greatness, it is great. All right. Peace and blessings. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.